Some spring standouts from the weekend, and these are just lots of spring winners in general. Shane Bieber, he threw 6 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts on Friday, has made 4 starts this spring, a 1.56 ERA, a .81 whip, 19 strikeouts over 17 and a third innings. We got that video in the offseason of Bieber working out with driveline baseball. Velocity is up, changed his curveball grip, getting enhanced results with that curveball. How much have you guys raised Shane Bieber in your rankings? Because he kind of feels like a pretty clear winner this week.
He is a clear winner, and I've raised him some. I wish I could raise him more, but he's like right on the border of pitchers. He's right on the border of the glob now, basically. And I'm not ready to say he's not in the glob because look at how last year went. But all indicators that we have this spring tell us he's back, baby. Shane Bieber is back and better than ever. He's probably not going to be better than ever. That 2019, 2020 run, that was it, right? Or was it 2020, 2021? Whatever. That 2-year run was incredible. But he is somebody I wish I was more invested in. And certainly at this point, he's leaving behind. He's leaving the Jose Barrioses of the world behind. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm. The ADP this weekend for Shane Bieber was 112.9. How would you guys rank these spring training hype pitchers? Chris Sale, Bailey Ober, Shane Bieber.
I think it's Sale over Bieber. Sale over Bieber.
I'm going to put Bieber over Ober.
Oh,
how's that? Sale Bieber Ober.
How dare you? Come on. It's Bailey Ober, man.
I said that awfully fast, and I deserve credit for that.
We're giving you all the credit here, Scott.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of these fun pitchers. Jack Flaherty is part of the mix who made starts this weekend. They are big spring risers. Jack Flaherty, 4 2/3, 1 earned run. It was 2 total runs allowed, but 8 strikeouts to 0 walks on Sunday. He had 13 swinging strikes on 87 pitches. Jared Jones, I think, is also part of this mix. He is a pitching prospect with the Pirates. He threw 5 innings, 1 unearned run, 5 strikeouts, had 14 swinging strikes on 83 pitches. Really just a 2-pitch pitcher. I wonder if maybe those pitches are just so good it could work for Jared Jones. Luis Severino has also looked good this spring, and on Sunday, 5 innings, 1 run, 4 strikeouts for him, a 1.29 ERA, .71 whip. So we've got 3 names there: Flaherty, Jared Jones, Luis Severino. I will throw AJ Puck in this mix.
Yeah, baby.
Guys that are going around that 200 range now in ADP. Rank them: Puck, Flaherty, Jared Jones, Severino.
Puck, Flaherty, nope. Puck, Severino, Flaherty, Jared Jones.
I believe that's the order I have them in as well.
Jared Jones is a distant 4th for me. There's clearly upside there, but there's the limited arsenal. There's the complete lack of track record. There's the fact he wasn't, he had some issues with walks, and it's not like he was throwing a ton of strikes this spring either. And I just wonder how carefully the Pirates will handle him on top of all of that. So he's a distant 4th. I would say Puck, Severino, and Flaherty are must draft at this point.
I agree with that, yeah.
Some shallower league pitchers who performed well this weekend and really this spring. Joe Ryan, 5 innings, 2 runs allowed, 5 strikeouts. His velocity is just way up on all of his pitches. Fastball up 1.2 miles per hour. Joe Ryan's splitter is up 4.5 miles per hour. His slider is up almost 5 miles per hour.
Are those even the same pitch anymore? I don't
know if that's even good for him because that's a lot of velocity, but
I will say this. Joe Ryan is aware. He hears you.
He knows.
He is aware of the problems that he had last season and whether this specific version of the slider and splitter, which he kind of introduced both those pitches last year. He's constantly tinkering, and you don't always figure it out when you're constantly tinkering, but you look at someone like, you say, Kikuchi, who had massive holes in his game. Mitch Keller, another one. Like, it's not a terrible profile to bet on. Guy with clear talent who recognizes his limitations and puts in the work and goes to the data-driven coaches, and like it's an okay bet to make, even if I don't actually like Joe Ryan's price in drafts. He's 82.8 in ADP over the weekend. That's too rich for me. But I don't mind betting on him.
All right, Brian Bayo threw 5 1/3 innings of 1-run ball with 7 strikeouts, had 12 swinging strikes on 91 pitches. 4 of those 12 swinging strikes came on this revamped slider, which is up almost 2 miles per hour compared to last year. And Nathan Eovaldi threw 4 shutout innings on Saturday. He's had a strong spring, 2.63 ERA, 110 whip. And if Fangraphs is correct, a 31% swinging strike rate for Nathan Eovaldi. Have either of those names moved up for you, Brian Bayo or Nathan Eovaldi?
Not for me.
No.
Eovaldi, we kind of know the deal with him. He can look really strong for a few months, but then there's always something that causes him to trip up and probably put him on the IL. And then Bayo, this was like his first good strikeout game of the spring, right? Like,
that sounds right.
Maybe the slider is going to make him more effective overall, but I don't think it's going to turn him into a strikeout pitcher. And for being a non-strikeout pitcher, he has too many vulnerabilities that I see. I think he's kind of aiming to be Marcus Stroman in terms of fantasy impact, and there's not a lot of fantasy impact there.
So this start, Bayo had 7 strikeouts over 5 1/3. His previous start, he had 5 strikeouts over 5 innings, which if we got a strikeout per inning, I think we'd feel pretty good about that from Brian Bayo.
It would be a lot better than 7.6, but I think he's at 7.6 for the whole spring unless the stat line isn't updated.
Well, he pitched on Saturday. It should be. I think it is.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Deeper league pitchers from this weekend. Jake Irvin threw 6 shutout innings. He pitches for the Nationals, by the way. It's can't assume that everyone knows that because it's Jake Irvin after all. He has thrown 15 shutout innings over his last 3 outings, and the spring ERA is 3.38. Ryan Nelson of the D-backs threw 5 innings, 1 run, 9 strikeouts on Friday. He had 17 swinging strikes on 73 pitches. And he is tied for the second most strikeouts this spring with 26 of them. Martin Perez of the Pirates threw 3 shutout innings with 3 strikeouts against the Yankees on Sunday. And he's quietly having a really strong spring, 0.60 ERA, 0.93 whip, just over a strikeout per inning. And a gentleman named Jose Soriano of the Angels threw 6 shutout with 8 strikeouts against the White Sox this weekend. He's 25 years old. He did some interesting things as a reliever last year, a 51% ground ball rate, a 15% swinging strike rate. He throws really hard. I just don't really see a spot for him in the Angels rotation, but I think he's an interesting name for very deep leagues. Jose Soriano. Anything else to add on Martin Perez, Ryan Nelson, Jake Irvin?
Ryan Nelson was somebody I picked up in the first waiver run of TGFBI. He was a pretty highly regarded prospect. The rookie year was not so great, but he's been getting a lot of strikeouts this spring, second most in baseball. This 9 strikeout effort, the slider's been playing well, and he for sure has a spot. In fact, he's slotted into the number 4 spot now with Eduardo Rodriguez. So he for sure has a spot on a contender. And I think there's some low-end appeal there. I would add Ryan Weathers over him. I would add a lot of the pitchers we've talked about liking here. Jack Flaherty, of course, Luis Severino.
Would you take Luis Heel over him?
Close call.
I would.
I went Nelson. I went Ryan Nelson over Luis Heel, mostly because workload expectations.
And you said Ryan Weathers over Ryan Nelson, right?
Yes.
The thing with Ryan Nelson, and it appears to still be the case for him in spring. It was the issue with him. He's got like 5 pitches, and he really, really wants to throw his fastball a ton. And then he just wants to throw all the other ones a little bit. And that slider, when it's been working, has been a really, really good pitch for him. 45% whiff rate in a small sample size in 2022. And has had some good results with it since then, but he just doesn't throw it very often. 12.4% last year. I think it was 16% on Friday. I don't like the approach, but I think there's an interesting skill set there.
There was a report early this spring that he was taking the team's advice to throw more off-speed stuff and recognizing the need for it. We don't have data from all his starts, right? Yeah. But you're saying what data we do have says that's not really the case.
Yeah, the start on Friday was...
I think he threw 65% fastballs in that start. Yeah, so that's too much.